Now we're going to look at systems of equations solving using the substitution method. Again, just like elimination, it sounds like the word substitution. The method, what we're trying to do is substitute in a value for x or a value for y. In order to do that, the easiest thing is to solve one of these equations for x by itself or y by itself. So if you look at both of these, it appears to me that the easiest to solve for one of the single variables would be this one, and to solve it for x, to get x by itself. So I'm going to do that over here, which means I have to take the 6y and move it to the other side. So now I have x equals, when I move it over, it's a negative 6y plus 11. So now I can take all of this is what x is equal to. And I can take it and to the other equation and plug it in for the x to replace it. So when I do that, I have my negative 5. I'm going to take all of this and plug it in for the x. Negative 6y plus 11. Then go ahead and finish the rest of the equation. So this is going down here, but replacing all of the x, all of this going in for the x here. So it's being replaced there. So now I'm just going to solve. I have y's only. So I'm going to do the distributive property and solve. Negative 5 times a negative 6y is a positive 30y. Then we're going to have a minus 55 minus a 3y equals a negative 1. 30 minus 3y is going to give me 27y. And then I take the 55 over here, and that's going to give me a positive plus 55. So it's going to give me a 54, positive 54. So now I can divide both sides by 27, and 27 into 54 gives me 2. So that's my y value. I'll put it here as a 2. I'm looking for an x and a y. So now how do I get the x value? Well, I'm going to do a substitution again. I'm going to take all this, I'm going to take this 2, and I'm going to go back up here into one of the original equations and plug it in. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick the first one because it looks to be the easiest for me. And I'm going to plug in now here for the y. So let's rewrite the equation. Originally, x plus 6y. My y is now a 2 equals 11. Now we're going to solve it. X plus 12 equals 11. Subtract 12 from both sides. X now equals negative 1. Plug that in here. And now this is my answer. I could then check myself. I could take this negative 1 and plug it in here for the x. Take this 2, plug it in here, work it out, and I should get 11. Same thing here. Plug in a negative 1 for this x, plug in a 2 for this y, and I should be able to solve it and get a negative 1 for my answer there. If you get both of those answers, you know that you've done it correctly.